Hey guys, section of violence here. Man, this should be an interesting card. We have Merab taking on Yan, man. I can't wait. A lot of people are writing Merab off. To be honest, this should be a stylistic matchup, nightmare for Merab, but I'd like to give you my take on that fight just a bit later. Um, Starting off though, we have probably the most high skilled matchup you'll see on the card, the most highly touted prospects, the best fighters they have on the roster. Carlston Harris versus Jared Gooden. Man, we are truly blessed to be given such great fights from the UFC, a multi-billion-dollar organization. They truly can't give us better fights than this. Carlston Harris versus Jared Gooden. I honestly, I can't even fathom how fortunate we are to be given such great fights. But anyways, let's get right into this Hall of Fame worthy uh, duel between Jared Gordon versus Carlston Harris. So to start, we have Mr. Carlston Harris. Um, yeah. If I could tell you some good things about him, um, well, he's a all right striker. Um, he's not bad. Um, I mean, he beat Impa Kasangane with strikes. But Impa's, I'd say, pretty green still. I mean, he's who knows? Maybe he's coming into his form now, but at the time, I felt Impa was still pretty green. Um, Guys like Christian Aguilar, is that? No way. Did he beat this guy? That's his best win. All right, he has good jiu-jitsu. I'll give him that. But his striking it leaves a lot to be desired. I'm still in shock that he beat Sagid. But yeah, man, Carlston Harris is by far, in my opinion, the more well-rounded strike fighter. I just feel like Jared Gordon is going to cause him issues, just being how scrappy and how powerful he is on the feet. I do think he's lost to Impa, who Carlston beat, but I just feel like it's a different style matchup. I feel like he can cause him a lot of problems. I mean, he beat DeMarcus Jackson, which is a good win to have. Um, I really like his win over Curtis Millender. He knows how to finish. Nicholas Stoltz, you know, he went the distance with Randy Brown. Abu Bakar Nurmagomedov, he showed some glimpses in that fight. Like he's not a bad fighter. He's not great, but I think he can really make this fight ugly, and I can see him winning this fight. At plus 200, I'm willing to take a shot. Carlston Harris is good on the ground, but that's about it. And I just feel like he doesn't have the wrestling to be able to get Jared to the ground unless he overextends and he gets to his back. I do think Carlston Harris should be able to win this fight, so I'm not going to pick against him. But at the money, being how close of a fight this is, in my opinion, I do think Jared Gordon is worth a shot, a dog shot. Maybe just to win a unit. I wouldn't recommend it anymore. Um, but yeah, that's probably the best I can say. Um, like the best I can give assessment for this fight. Even though it's so high level, there's not much I can really say about this fight. But yeah, I'm going with Carlston Harris somewhere along the line picking up a sub. But I wouldn't be surprised with Jared Gordon picking up a decision win. I like Jared Gordon here as well, so this is a closer fight for me. I'm going to go with Carlston Harris, leaning, but I'm not confident. I'm betting on Jared Gooden. Moving on, we have Tyson Nam versus Bruno Silva. This is going to be a lot more entertaining, in my opinion. I feel like Bruno Silva will win this fight. He has more tools. A lot of people forget about Bruno Silva. He is very, very good. He trains with Henry Cejudo. He beat, I mean, not the greatest of opponents, Victor Rodriguez and JB Buys. I know he's lost to Tagir and David Dvorak. But David Dvorak loss isn't probably the greatest, but you know, they're still pretty good top tier fighters. And Tyson now, I feel like he's getting to that twilight stage of his career where he still has the power and everything, but I feel like he's going to be outmatched in a lot of outspeed. And I think he's going to be, I know it's crazy, but I think he's going to be like the guy's going to have, he's going to be quicker. I feel like he's going to be he's going to get out scrambled, get controlled. I feel like Bruno Silva can even outstrike him if he needs to. This is going to be a good fight, though. I'm going to edge Bruno Silva, though. I really like him here. Yeah, I'm going to go with Bruno Silva, training at a Fight Ready too. A really good gym. Excuse me. Don't mind me. Yeah, so yeah, Bruno Silva. We're going to go with him. Moving on, we have Tony Gravely versus Victor Henry. This is going to be an interesting fight. Tony Gravely, he does everything pretty well, I'd say, especially his wrestling. I'd say he has some of the greatest wrestling in the UFC, let alone his division. I do think he has trouble keeping the fight to the ground, keeping them controlled. He's still really green with his jiu-jitsu, but I do think he's good enough to make it a good fight with Victor Henry. I just do think Victor Henry is going to have the scramble ability to be able to get back to his feet. I'm going to like some same game props in this matchup. I do think Victor Henry has a lot to be desired here. I'm going to edge him to win this fight by decision. I just think he's going to have more better output, and he's going to be active off his back when taken down. I do think Tony Gravely is a live dog, and I do think he is dangerous, but definitely gonna just side with Victor Henry here. I just feel like you're gonna overthink it if you don't. But yeah, this should be a fun one. Maybe Tony Gravely improves a lot and puts on the greatest performance he's ever had, but I'm gonna go with Victor Henry here. I just feel like it's a smarter pick, and I don't know. I'm just gonna trust the guy who, you know, has a lot more tricks. Moving on, we have Ariane Lipski versus JJ Aldrich. I feel like the clear side here is JJ Aldrich. Ariane Lipski is cute and all, but she's too tall with her stance. Her fight IQ isn't really the greatest. She's lost to girls where you know, aren't the greatest losses like Priscilla Cachoeira, Montana De La Rosa. She beat Mandy Bohm, Luana Carolina. But I just feel like girls like JJ Aldridge are going to cause her problems. I mean, Montana De La Rosa causes a lot of problems. I do think JJ Aldridge has a style to dominate her to a nice unanimous decision. Could she get a nice TKO finish in there? Maybe. I don't know. But I'm going to go with JJ Aldridge by unanimous decision. I just think Ariane Lipski, um, she's not, she doesn't have the greatest fight IQ, and she tends to get beat up sometimes when she doesn't get her way in the striking, which is most of the time. So. I feel like she's going to get outworked here and dominated for a nice unanimous decision. Don't overthink this spot either. I'm going with JJ Aldrich. Very, very confident. Yeah, moving on. We have Mario Bautista versus Guido Cannetti. Mario Bautista's, man, he's really coming to his own as of late. I do think he wins this with ease. I do think he's a bit chinny, which worries me with guys like Guido, but I do think he still wins this quite convincingly in the first round. I just think he's too well rounded, and I do think Guido Cannetti is going to get either subbed or TKO'd. I don't see him leaving this fight going to a decision with Mario Batista. I see Mario Batista getting him out of there inside the distance. So yeah, Mario inside the distance is probably the best play. You can. I really like this play. But yeah, Guido Cannetti is a vet, and this should be a fun fight. But yeah, I'm not going to talk about this fight too much. Moving on, we have Sedriques Dumas versus Josh Fremd. Now, I really wanted to fade Dumas, being how he's still very green street. So he doesn't really. I mean, he could be Jamal Hill, reincarnated, but I just do believe he lacks a lot of technique that Josh Fremd has. But the thing with Josh Fremd is doesn't really know how to put it together that well, and he doesn't really know how to win that well either. Um, yeah, he just struggles. He tries to outlast his opponent, and it just doesn't work out for him sometimes. I do think Sedriques Dumas has really showed that he can wrestle. He can deal with high grappling situations. I'm gonna go with Cedric here. I'm gonna lean him, but yeah, Josh Fremd, man, this is his. He needs to win here for or he's getting cut. Um, but I think Cedric's gonna be too much for him, and I think Cedric's gonna win a unanimous decision, or even pick up another guillotine finish. Josh Fremd got guillotine finished by Trayshawn Gore, so sure as heck, I think Dumas can do the same. But yeah, this should be a fun one. Can't wait. Moving on, we have Davey Danger Grant versus Raphael Assuncao. I think Raphael Assuncao um, is definitely gotten better since moving over to Extreme, but I do think Davey Grant is the better fighter. I do think he has good boxing too. I do feel like he has slick movement, good footwork. He hits harder, or he may just hit just as hard. But I believe he's going to cause Raphael Santos a lot of problems with his calf kicks, etc. I like Davey Grant here. I believe he's going to be a lot of in his face and causing him a lot of problems. Could Raphael Santos shock us and win here? Maybe, yeah, but I just like Davey Grant here. He's called dangerous for a reason. I feel like Raphael Santos is a bit chinny too, so I think Grant can get him, put him away in this spot. I'm really liking Grant here. Um, I'm gonna predict late round two, round three knockout. But yeah, that's my pick. Moving on, we have Lukasz Brzeski versus Carl Williams. Carl Williams looks pretty good against Jimmy Lawson, someone who was supposed to be a really big prospect for sorry, my cat. Yeah, he was supposed to be a big prospect for the UFC, and he cat no no cat go go cat go go cat. So yeah, he had a really good performance. I do believe he has the grappling to be able to deal with Lukasz Brzeski. But I do think Lukasz Brzeski is also not terrible. Like he's shown a bit an ability to get up and defend takedowns. He's also like he's definitely in the division where he shouldn't be, but I do believe he's good enough to where he can hold his own. Um, yeah, that Boudet, he should have beat Boudet. But I really think he's going to win here. Carl Williams, but it's an ugly fight, man. I wouldn't put too much on this. Um, I think he's gonna win by unanimous decision, but I can also see Brzeski making this close. If you told me you're betting on Brzeski, I wouldn't be mad. This is a hard fight to call. I'm going with Carl Williams though. I'm gonna trust his grappling and his smart decision making to win this fight. Moving on though, we have Vitor Petrino versus Anton Turkalj. Turkalj is very, very sloppy on the feet. Um, it's like he's not very good on the feet. And he just he can be dangerous on the feet, but he's just, in my opinion, he just is doing his at his best work when he's grappling, and even then, he's not that great. His grappling's all right. Showed pretty good glimpses with that Jalton Almeida fight, even though he got finished. I do think Vitor Petrino though is going to be more of like a threat, being how dangerous he is on the feet. I think he'll be able to sprawl and brawl with Anton Turkalj. I do worry though because he has got a bit of heavy hips. So once he's taken down, I mean, he's pretty good at getting back to his feet, but not the greatest. He gives his back up more than I would like, but I'm gonna go with Vitor Petrino here, being more dangerous on the feet, and I think he could even score a second round TKO. Um, just being a lot more dangerous in the feet. But yeah, this should be a fun one. Moving on, we have Said Nurmagomedov versus Jonathan Martinez. Said is a really good defensive grappler. He's a good grappler, but his offensive wrestling isn't probably his best attribute. I really rate his kicking, but I feel like he turns his back a lot. And I feel like his leg kicks are also aren't the greatest. So I feel like that's where Jonathan Martinez with his Thai style can really implement his game. I'm gonna go with Jonathan Martinez winning a unanimous or a split or unanimous decision. I really like Jonathan Martinez, man. Um, Especially at the dog value. I'm gonna take Jonathan Martinez all the way. Um, yeah, I really like Jonathan Martinez here. I think Sedna Magomedov's a bit overrated, but he has a reason to be rated at the same time. I mean, Sadia Koop was doing really, really good against him, and he's still really green. Sadia Koop also made a mistake, so if he didn't make that mistake, who knows? Maybe he'd be coming off a loss right now. But yeah, he's beat guys like Douglas Silva de Andrade, who, in my opinion, gave him a really hard fight. Cody Stamen, he beat Cody Stamen. He beat Ricardo Ramirez. Like he's beat good guys, but I feel like Ronnie Barcelos, Jonathan Martinez, these are typically the guys who I think could really beat him and cause him problems. I'm gonna rate Jonathan Martinez here and take him to win a unanimous or split decision. Yeah. Next up, though, we have Ricardo Ramirez versus Austin Lingo. Now, I don't mind the thought of people thinking Austin Lingo is going to pressure forward and use that pace and beat him. He is good enough to where it is a problem beating guys like Saldana. But the thing about Saldana is his cardio isn't great, and he doesn't have like he has his moments like he can be really clean, but like he's not that good. I can see Ricardo Ramos really causing him problems. He's so well rounded. I really like his spinning. Like usually I don't like when people spin, but his when he spins, it's usually for a good reason. He's beat guys like Bill Algeo. I I think he's really good. Ground and pound loss to Murphy isn't the greatest, but neither is that loss to side Nurmagomedov. But it is what it is. He beat Journey Newsom, Kyung House Kang, Eamon Zahavi. He has good wins on his record. I'm gonna go with him here to win a split or unanimous decision. This is also gonna be a good fight, I believe. Um, I hope Ramos covers the price, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Ramos here in this spot. I mean, I just think he's gonna be too much on the feet for Lingo, and he's gonna win a unanimous or split decision. Moving on, we have Nikita Krylov versus Ryan Spann. Now, I'm really torn on this fight because in my head, I want to take Ryan Spann round one, but Nikita Krylov, man. In a prediction, you have to take Krylov just because he's shown that he can go in those deep later rounds and work. Never seen Ryan Spann in those later rounds working. He doesn't usually deal with adversity that well. Maybe he's coming to his own with this new mindset he has now, but I'm going to go with Nikita Krylov here in the later round stoppage or unanimous decision. But Ryan Spann round one is a good bet. I honestly do think so. He's dangerous as hell. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting fight for sure. Definitely after being rebooked. Um, yeah. Hope Nikita Krylov is also feeling better. He was sick, I believe, so that would really suck if he's still sick. And he's just fighting for money. But yeah, moving on. Let's hope for the best. We have the co-main event of the evening: Alexander Volkov versus Alexander Romanov. Romanov is a beast. I really like Romanov. The thing with Romanov though is he likes the flashy slams over simple, knee in front of the other knee. Take him down, use that pressure, that weight. He doesn't like to do that. I don't know why. But yeah, I think Volkov, if he doesn't do that, he's going to get finished in the later rounds, being how dangerous Volkov is on the feet. I think he is seriously outmatched on the feet against Volkov, but I do think he'll have the substantial grappling advantage while still has energy. Romanov should win this fight. I'm going to go with Romanov by first round submission. But at the end of the day, this is a really hard fight to call. Romanov could win a unanimous decision. He could also lose. So I'm not going to die on this Romanov hill. But if I had to pick, I'm going to have to go with Romanov here. And yeah. Moving on, we have the main event of the evening. We have Petr Yan versus Merab Dvalishvili. I do think Merab's going to win this. I know it's not a popular opinion, and a lot of people are on Petr Yan, and I understand why. And I honestly, it'd make me happy if he won too. But Merab is different. People say that he just held Jose Aldo. Yeah, he did to an extent, but he also outstruck Jose Aldo in a lot of exchanges. I really like how Merab is getting better, and people aren't paying attention to it. And I do think this is another spot where people aren't going to pay attention to him until it's too late. And I do think Merab wins this spot. I like how Merab mixes in his takedowns. Yeah, he doesn't do much with it, but man, does he make it look good to the judges. I do think he's going to be able to take Jan down. I do think, especially in rounds 2 or 3, I do believe he'll be able to work at a pace where Jan can't keep up. The rate of work that I think round 1 is going to be scary, but I do think his work rate is second to none, and he makes you work to his speed, and a lot of people can't keep that speed. So I do think that Merab wins this by unanimous decision, but you know, if this is the fight that he does get that train derailed, it's going to be this one because Petr Yan is no joke. I'm going to take the plus money. He's sitting around plus 200 now. I wish I snagged that. Now I got plus 145. But yeah, I'm going with Merab here. It's a few dogs I got on this card. I really like this card, not really for betting purposes, but it's a fun card for watching. If I could give you my top 5 most confident predictions, my number 1 most confident pick would have to be Mario Bautista. Number 2, JJ Aldrich. Number 3, I'd have to say Bruno Silva. Number 3, number 4, I have to go Ricardo Ramos. And number five is a hard one. I'm gonna have to go with Victor Henry. So if that shows you how this week looks, and if I could even cut out Victor Henry, I would. If I could just take my top 3, so Bruno Silva, Mario Batista, and JJ Aldrich, those are my top 3 most confident picks. You guys, like, you could get plus money with that. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, guys, that's a solid three piece parlay. Um, and if you don't trust Silva, just stick with Batista and Aldrich. See what you can get with that. All right, guys. Until next time, like, subscribe. You know the drill. Let's cash another weekend with UFC. I'm on a roll with UFC this year. It's like a complete switch with bare knuckle. I mean, I cashed bare knuckle last weekend, but not the way I wanted. Connor Tierney really let me down. But yeah, guys, we got a busy, busy week this week. I'm gonna get out the Airs FC plays here shortly, and yeah, because we have fights tomorrow or for Thursday. So yeah, until next time, I'll see you soon.